Chapter 1. Phoebe. There are two types of people in this world. People who steal other people, and people who don't. Grabbing a small child and running away with them is one of the worst things you can possibly do. 6 months ago, you did that. In the last days of December, the city of Sydney is blistering with summer and buzzing with festivals and exhibitions. The voices of Chinese, Japanese, British, American, and other international tourists mingle with those of Australians. At Darling Harbour, people dart in and out of the zoo, museums, and the IMAX. Others people watch from the open-air upmarket cafes and restaurants that hug this partly enclosed section of the harbour. In the middle of it all, a playground captures the children's attention. The children grow shouty as they race from the water park to the giant slide to the climbing frames, their hands and faces sticky with ice cream. Luke and I were there in summer with our 2-year-old son, Tommy. You were there too. Watching. Waiting for your chance to snatch him. Already, you had the letters prepared, the letters about Tommy you'd start sending us 6 months later. The game was about to start. Only I didn't know it. Chapter 2. Phoebe. 6 months ago, late December. Luke and Tommy looked more each other than Tommy looked like me. But Tommy had my eyes, a glossy church pew brown with a solemn stare. On my face, those eyes often appeared annoyingly pious, even if my thoughts were dark, which they quite often were. But on Tommy's cherubic 2-year-old face, those eyes held people in the palm of his hand. If a film director ever wanted a child who looked like he could stare into your immortal soul, Tommy was that child. His hair, like Luke's, was a thick, tufty dark blonde. We let it grow past his collar because it looked endlessly cute sticking out at the angles that it did. He still had a bit of his baby chubbiness in his legs, with dimples in his knees that looked like winking eyes when he ran. Tommy's knees were winking like a 1950s sailor's eye right now. Luke, Tommy, and I had been at my grandmother's house for 20 minutes, and Tommy was beginning to run everywhere. Run, wink. Run, wink. He'd had as much sitting and playing quietly as his little body could handle. Now he needed to feel his body move. All the while, he kept his toy yacht tucked firmly under his right arm. He loved that boat the way some kids love their teddy or comfort blanket. Nan puckered her lips until they grew white, not because she wanted a kiss from anyone. Can't he read a book or something? He's 2. I told her, shrugging helplessly. He'd only just turned 2 last month, and I still couldn't get used to my baby becoming a toddler. Luke and I still referred to him as the baby. Tommy, buddy, please stop charging about, Luke offered with a yawn in his voice. He sat there, too long and lanky for Nan's sofa, tired as he always was after a week of wheeling and dealing at his real estate agency. Tommy stopped and pumped up his cheeks with air. He waited until Nan busied herself with pouring out the tea again, and then in Tommy-sized increments, which weren't nearly as subtle as he thought they were, he tiptoed over to her collection of ornaments. He poked at her prize ornament, the one that Luke maintained looked like a bunny humping a lamb. I could only just hear Tommy whispering to himself, "No, no, Tommy," as he poked it. I understood that this was one of Tommy's little daily science experiments. Were the funny little animals going to hurt him or bite him? Poke, poke, poke. Were they hard or soft? Were they going to move or jump? Poke, poke, poke. You know to stay away from that, Tommy. I hated myself as I said it. I sounded so much harsher than Luke, so authoritarian. Nan swiveled her head around to Tommy, her mouth dropping open at his disobedience.